What's up, Fantasy A-Team Nation? I'm your host, Josh Jenkins, and tonight's video, we are going to unveil our Week 5 top quarterback matchups. But before I start the show, I'd like to welcome my good friend and co-host, aka the Fantasy Guru, back to the show. Welcome back, Zach.
Hey, thanks for having me back, Josh. Appreciate it. What's up, Fantasy A-Team Nation? Thanks for tuning back in, people. We appreciate you, man. Love all the support. Hopefully, we're helping you win your leagues and pick up the right players. So before we get to the top 5, I want to throw out the guys that we want. Every week you should start them because you drafted them high, most likely, and they're performing, out of this world. Even if a few of them have had some tough weeks, these guys are must starts every week. So Mahomes, Dak, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, Brady, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, and Lamar Jackson. You should start all those guys no matter what. But with that said, man, start off with your what you think's number 1 top matchup.
I'm going to just throw out some names of the quarterbacks this week, not in any particular order.
Okay.
We'll just say first on the list, we'll go Jalen Hurts. He went 32 of 48 for 387 yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. This week, he has Carolina, number 8, versus the quarterback. What's your thoughts, Zach?
Well, Carolina's got a tough D, but Jalen Hurts is a special kind of player. I didn't even see. I know you said how many yards he threw for, like 389, but what he had some rushing yards too. What he rushed for? Did you write that down?
He did. He had 8 rushes for 47 yards.
So yeah, man, like he's a true dual threat quarterback, kind of like a Kyler Murray. We got luck. I'm not saying lucky. We played well, but we were lucky enough to beat him and his team. He played spectacular versus us, man. The guy's so hard to corral, like Murray, and he's got good vision down the field. So with that said, man, it is a little bit of a tough matchup, but he's kind of, he's not like really any other quarterback. There's only a few guys like him, so he's hard to contain. He's going to be hard to prepare for. I look for him to still put up 300-plus yards and a couple of touchdowns, and he could run one in, or even just, like he just said, maybe 5-7 rushes for like 40 to 60 yards. Those are all good fantasy numbers. So we really like this matchup unless you have one of those top guys that I named starting.
Yes, we do like that matchup. Next on the list. Go ahead.
Let me correct that. I love that matchup.
All right. Next on the list, we got Kirk Cousins. He was 20 of 38. 203 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 1 interception. This week, they'll be going up against the Detroit Lions, 15th ranked defense against the pass.
Yeah, so they're a team that plays each other a lot. So, with that said, I believe Cousins is going to build off what he did the last several weeks before last week. Last week was decent numbers, but I think he'll get right back to what they were doing before, where he's throwing for 300, maybe 350, and maybe 3 touchdowns, maybe 4. I look for Cousins to have a bounce-back game, have a big game, put up some big fantasy numbers. I'm starting him in one of my main leagues. So I think he's really going to have a great game.
Yeah, I agree. Probably one of my most games I look forward to this week will be Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals when they go up against the Green Bay Packers. Last week, Burrow went 25 of 32 for 348 yards and 2 touchdowns. They are going up against Green Bay Packers, the 17th ranked defense against the pass.
Yep. And see, that's more what I thought Burrow was going to be like when the season started. He struggled the first couple weeks, had a lot of picks and stuff, but sounds like he's got his confidence back. He was stellar last year as a rookie until he got hurt. So maybe he's getting back to that form. And they're adding more weapons that, how do you say his name? Uzmawa or whatever, the guy we put on the tight end video. The guy's a stud. So he's got another stud to throw to on top of all the other guys he has. So Green Bay obviously is going to throw the ball, put up a lot of numbers, and run the ball because they got Aaron Jones. So it ought to be a high-scoring affair. Look for Burrow to throw a lot. He's got a lot of targets to throw to, so I look for him to be efficient like he was and throw for 300 plus, maybe 350, and at least a couple, maybe 2-3 touchdowns. So another good guy to start. I love this matchup.
I do as well. Next on the list, we got Daniel Jones. He was 28 of 40 for 402 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. This week, he goes up against the defense of Dallas, ranked 29th against the pass. I just got a notification just a minute ago that Dallas has released Jalen Smith, linebacker. So we'll see how that defense responds this weekend.
Yeah, so like you said, they were 29th against the pass. And Daniel Jones, man, he's heating up. So I think he's behind heating up. He's definitely, on fire, I think, especially with Saquon Barkley back. I know that he had one pick last week, but what's happening now is it was an offense that wasn't that great of an offense. And now with Barkley back, it's sucking the defenses forward, allowing him to get those long, deep passes like to Kevin Ross last week. And so there's going to be a lot of throwing in this game versus Dallas. So and Daniel Jones got the arm to do it. So it ought to be kind of a high-scoring, lot of yards to be had in this game. And Daniel Jones is one of our waiver wire guys. So he's been on the waiver wire for 3 weeks. Now he's a top 5 matchup. I don't know what else we can say about the guy. I'm not saying, he's as good as those top, 6, 7, 8 guys we named, but man, get this guy off the waiver wire, put him on your team, man. He might help you win later on if somebody goes down or a certain matchup or whatever. So I love this matchup. I mean, he might not go off and go for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, but I like this matchup. He's going to try to compete with Dak and the Dallas offense to try to win. So I look for him to put up some numbers and some touchdowns, people. And again, he's a waiver wire guy. You can get him.
Yeah, he is available in most leagues. Next, we got Matt Ryan. He was 25 of 42, 283 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He had 1 rush for 17 yards. This week they face the New York Jets, the number 5 ranked team against the pass.
Right. So what's going on there is Matt Ryan obviously throws the ball a lot. They have kind of a weak defense, so they're always trying to throw to stay in the game. So he's on the waiver wire video also. He has been for several weeks. We always like his matchups. Seems like he always throws for a lot of yards, and sometimes he can throw for 4 touchdowns like he did last week. With the emergence though of Cordero Patterson and the way they're utilizing him over there in their offense, looks like it's just going to go up from there for their offense. I mean, as far as Matt Ryan's numbers, so I say play him. I like the matchup. I know the Jets have a good defense, so he could throw a pick or 2, maybe even get sacked. But if that happens, that means they're just going to come back out throwing the ball more. So look for Ryan to throw for a lot of yards, possibly 3 to 4 touchdowns. And, man, that Cordero Patterson could go off again this week, people. So if you haven't gotten him off the waiver wire, I know he's in a lot of leagues gotten now, but for like 3 weeks we were talking about him. So Matt Ryan's a good pickup, man. Start him. We like this matchup.
Last but not least is Mr. Consistent. He seems to always throw around 300 yards. Sam Darnold, 26 of 39, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have 2 picks. He had 6 rushes for 35 yards and 2 touchdowns. This week, they faced the Philadelphia defense. They're ranked 18th.
Yep. So this should really be a good matchup. Like, I know that people don't think of Sam Darnold as a dual threat, but in a way, he's kind of like the Aaron Rodgers like dual threat. That if you're covering too much downfield and leave it open, the guy's going to run for a lot of yards on you. Even Daniel Jones the same way. And like you said, Sam Darnold's becoming, Mr. 300 every week. So it just goes to show his pick that he got picked in the draft was pretty much probably worth it. He was just put in a bad position with a bad offense, and wasn't understood as a player. Now that he's in a place where he's being supported, he's not the rookie who's supposed to show everybody how to win in the NFL. He's with guys who know how to win. Coaches know how to win and support him. So with that, he's really built himself up. And with the confidence level, look, he's playing well. I feel like him and Daniel Jones are only going to get better as the season goes on. So when Christian McCaffrey comes back, it's going to help Sam Darnold even more. So, and like I said, with Barkley emerging back from his injury, playing well, that's why Daniel Jones is. Both of them are on the waiver wire. So if you need another good one, go pick Sam Darnold up, man. Stash him. Play him on the bye weeks, man. If not, but this is a good matchup this week. So I think he could throw for 300 yards again or more. And this week he throws for a couple touchdowns and maybe runs for a touchdown. So solid numbers for fantasy quarterback off the waiver wire.
Well, folks, we have give you our top quarterback matchups for week 5. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. Hit us up on our Twitter page at Fantasy A-Team1 with any questions you may have. We'll get to them as quickly as possible. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and remember, friends don't let friends auto draft.